Tonight you're performing in a church.
Yes.
How does it feel to perform in a church?
I love performing in churches because the acoustics are so nice and the sound is so crispy, and I love it. And it's beautiful environment, and people usually come to churches to listen to the concert. It's different when you're singing, when people are dancing, and people are not really there to listen to you. But when you have concerts in a church, people really sit there and want to see you sing.
Is it harder to perform to an audience who's sitting down and just staring at you and really listening?
Some people think so, yeah, but it's different what you're used to doing. That's what I'm used to doing. I'm used to performing for people that are sitting and really staring at you and really thinking about every single note that you're hitting. Because, and that's something that I'm just used to, and I like that.
Well, have you learned any Finnish yet?
Not yet. It's a very difficult language. It's almost like Icelandic, I think. But it's beautiful. It's a beautiful language. I like it.
Try to say thank you. Kiitos.
Kiitos. It probably sounds funny, doesn't it?
Do you know any Finnish singers or bands?
Oof. The thing is that usually I feel like a fool when I come abroad in the Nordic countries, because in Iceland we usually get the radio airplays from America. So sometimes we don't catch the biggest names that are in Europe, which is quite sad because I really like to hear them. But the Rasmus, they're from here.
Yeah.
Nightwish. Yeah. So I know some.
What kind of music do you listen to at home?
I'm very misunderstood often in this area. People think that I'm the kind of girl that listens to, the diva singers like, Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, and stuff like that. But I used to do that a lot. I usually take periods of times where I take one or two artists or one certain style, and then I just listen to that. For example, I listened to Queen and the Eagles for 1 year. Just every day for a year, and then you kind of shrink everything from that you can, because you can learn a lot of things from even singers and artists that are not anything like you, because you can always take something out of their performances or learn something from them. But when I was the youngest stage, I was listening a lot to Icelandic singers and Celine Dion, Whitney Houston, Aretha Franklin, Eva Cassidy, Linda Ronstadt. And then when I came into my teenage years, I started to going into more rock, and I'm still there.
Well, could you see yourself recording a metal album?
Could I? I don't know. Maybe more classic rocky kind of. I could see myself doing that, but heavy metal, I don't know. Maybe one day. But who says you can't try?
Never say never.
Everything is open.
What kind of musicians do you respect the most?
It's not musicians in a certain style of music. It's just I respect people that are truthful to themselves and doing music that comes from the heart. That's the most important thing, and people that do it for the passion. That's the most important thing for me as an artist, to do it because I love it.
Well, do you like to go to concerts or that kind of stuff when you're touring or when you're at home in Iceland?
Yes, I love it. And in the music business in Iceland, everybody knows everyone. So I love to go and see my friends perform and play, and just going out and having fun and listening to good music.
Well, what has been the most exciting show so far?
So far? That is a good question. I once went to a gospel choir in New York when I was staying there. And there was a choir and some lead singers. That was amazing. It was at a place called B.B. King, kind of a gospel place. And that was very shocking, kind of how good it was. I went there, and it was not a big place or anything, and I didn't expect anything, and the singers were out of control. They were so good. That was probably my nicest experience. But I've gone to really nice concerts. I've been to Snow Patrol, Britney Spears, Madonna, Destiny's Child, and that's all really fun too, of course.
What do you think about music industry nowadays? Do you think it has changed from the days when you started?
Yes, it has changed a lot, actually. And I think it's a little bit sad, to be honest, because it's hard for people today to get contracts and to live off the music because, of course, people are downloading from the internet a lot, so the records don't sell anymore, really. So artists need to get most of their money from live income, and it's just it's at the music industry is not at a very high level right now, so it's hard. That's kind of, a sad thing because there are so many good singers out there and musicians that are not shining because of that. Because the record companies, of course, have to be really critical about which artists they choose. They have to think, okay, how can I sell this? And if somebody comes in who is not good looking enough or, doesn't act the way they want to, then they don't get a deal. And it's sad because maybe this person is so talented and could bring so much joy to the world with the music. So I think that's the most sad thing about it.
Well, what do you think about these singing competitions like American Idol, X Factor?
Yeah, it's a very smart thing to do because that's one of the biggest ways to get ahead nowadays. Because it seems that you always have to do some TV-oriented stuff to kind of make it in this business nowadays. So I think, that's a smart move if you do well in the show.
Well, what would you like to say to those who illegally download music from the net?
Well, I mean, almost everybody does it. So I'm not gonna say like don't download off the internet, but it's just sad that that albums don't sell anymore. But the market always changes. We do what we have to survive in this business. We always will. So that's a nice thing. But of course, I always try to buy music in stores. I always try to buy albums just to support the artist just out of respect, really, because it's your baby. When you make a record, when you hold it in your hands and it's ready, it's like wow, because it's such a long and important process for you. It's like your heart in a plastic box. So it's out of respect. That's why I buy it.
Well, what do you think about Spotify? Do you know what Spotify is?
I'm not a very computer-oriented person. if it's something in computers.
Yes, you can listen like legally music.
Oh yeah, that's a very smart thing, like iTunes and stuff, where you can buy actually the tunes, and you can pick. Then you don't have to buy the whole album if you're not interested in all the songs. Then that's fine, if you're willing to pay for this one song.
Well, what's the Icelandic media like?
It's actually a dream come true, to be honest. Many people, famous people, come there because it's so peaceful there. Everybody leaves them alone. Like Eric Clapton comes there every year, many times a year, and you can see him sitting outside in the cafe all the time because he loves being just left alone. Nobody bothers.
So you can walk on the street alone without paparazzis following you around?
Yes, everybody can. A lot of people come there to go fishing and just relaxing, because Icelandic people always have to be so cool. They can't go up to you and say, "Oh my God, I love you. Can I have your autograph?" They don't do it. They're just kind of like walk past, like, "Hey, that's Eric Clapton there." So it's a big plus for celebrities. A lot of Hollywood stars come there.
Well, was it some sort of a shock to you when it came to Eurovision Song Contest, when there's like medias all around the world following you around, trying to get pictures and stuff?
It was a little bit of a shock at first, the first few days, but then you get. It's amazing how fast you get used to it, actually. But it was a lot of fun. I think so.